Hello, hello, wherever you are in the world. My name is Agnes van Rhijn. I am the owner of Success on Your Own Terms and the founder of the Women Who Make Things Happen show. Today, it is my great pleasure to be interviewing Erica Rock. Erica is an intuitive healer, visionary, new soft leader, and holistic healthcare practitioner skilled in multiple energy modalities. She is the ultimate empowerment coach. Erica is a master at helping people clear their energy blocks, resolve their limiting beliefs, and shift their energy so they can align and live their highest and greatest destiny. Her coaching style is utterly unique in that not only does she assist you in opening to unlimited potentials, possibilities, and seeing everything in your life through a higher perspective, she has also the gift for shifting the energy that is vital for real and sustainable transformation. Erica, welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me today.
I'm very glad to have you. And I'm very happy because I don't know you. It's the first time we speak. We did speak a little bit before, so I'm going to discover you. That's really nice. So tell us about your journey.
Well, my journey thankfully started with a lot of adversity. Growing up in an alcoholic home, not a lot of money coming in, and there was this sense of not having a lot of stability, which I think due to that, what was born within me was a strong need for wanting to have stability, wanting to have a strong financial core, because I didn't have it growing up. Mm-hmm. So that led me to really desiring that and then eventually creating it, with a lot of challenges and struggles in between. And I'm happy to share those if you're interested in hearing that.
That's very inspiring for others. They will see that they're not alone.
Absolutely not. And I think the thing is, when, if we can use the contrast that we're experiencing in our life, when we experience this contrast, it becomes utterly clear what we don't like, what we don't want. And so then you can say, well, what do I want and where do I want to go? And what are my innate gifts and passions? And basically what I ended up doing was following those. I mean, it was so simple and kind of obvious to me. There wasn't necessarily a school or a university for the path that I wanted to follow at the time. So I created my own. And that does take a certain amount of courage. But when you have a calling in your heart, what I would say, please don't ignore that. Trust that and follow it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we don't know all the steps of how it's going to play out or anything like that. But when we just take the first step, the next step that we need to take becomes visible. And in this process, we cultivate a lot of faith and a lot of trust, because we start to see that, whatever our soul came here to do, it's so supported by the universe. And so if we just listen to our intuition and listen to our heart, the path unfolds effortlessly, easily, and gracefully. That's what I would want to say about it, really. I mean,
What I like about what you just described, it reminded me of something that I had read somewhere. I don't remember who it was. Maybe, it could have been David Nagel, because I've been reading a lot of him lately again. Where he's talking, assuming it's him, talking about when you are driving in a car at night, mm-hmm. and you know where you're going, but the road unfolds in front of you as you move forward. You don't see the entire road. And when you trust that where you're going to, every next, I was going to say meter, but that's probably not how you would call it. But every next bit becomes visible, and that's how it unfolds. So it describes exactly what you were just saying. So talking about your calling, what it is that you wanted to do. I understood from the brief conversation that we had just before we started officially the interview, that you were pretty clear pretty early about what you wanted to do.
Yes.
Yes.
I was. Absolutely. Well, I would describe myself as an empath, an energetically sensitive soul, which, by the way, for anyone that's listening, you could probably relate to a lot about what I'm about to say, which is energetically sensitive souls tend to pick up very easily on the thoughts, feelings, energies, and vibrations of others.
Mm-hmm.
It can cause a lot of like social anxiety. Being in with groups of people can be extremely uncomfortable because a lot of times we think we're picking up on what people are thinking and feeling and their energy, and we tend to personalize it and think that they're thinking and feeling that about us. Mm-hmm. And that's that can be terrifying, right? Oh, all these people are judging me, and all these people are this and that, and with this sensitivity, I started having anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and literally almost became agoraphobic. Like I did not even want to leave my house. Every time I stepped out, it was like being in the jungle with wild animals. And and so I started to really want to hide. But what started to happen is, obviously I'm suffering. Emotionally, I'm suffering. I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling comfortable in my body. I'm not feeling safe. So that's when, because of that experience, that led me to wanting to seek feeling better. Mm-hmm. And so then I started the journey of personal transformation, and it started with a Reiki class, no less. I remember, this is the best story. I was taking a class, learning how to meditate and doing past life regression and all this fun stuff, because my sensitivity was a gift in that, because I could pick up on the thoughts, feelings, energies of others, I also always knew what they needed and kind of how to help and soothe others. There was a gift in that. So your initial question was, you knew what you wanted to do, and yet I wanted to help and be in service. Mm-hmm. And help. I wouldn't have used these words at the time, but basically what I came to realize is I'm here to help raise the vibration of the planet and create heaven on earth. And I'm not alone in this. There are zillions of us right now that is exactly what we want to do. And like everyone in Project Positive Change, we all have the same mission. We're just doing it in different ways, right? So I'm in good company. So having all this anxiety and panic and feeling uncomfortable in my skin, I was wanting to learn how to meditate, right? I need to manage this. I need to explore myself, really was what I came to. I need to find out, what is going on within me, and why am I feeling so uncomfortable, and how can I feel better? Because there's nothing worse than feeling bad, and it feels great to feel good. And of course, being human, we want to feel good and happy, right? So I'm taking this class, and I had been carpooling with a girlfriend who had just taken a Reiki class, and I didn't even know what Reiki was, but I got to tell you, we pulled into the driveway to go into this class, and I froze. I felt such panic about getting out of the car and being in a group of people. And I said to her, would you please do some Reiki on me? And she looks at me and she's like, it's not going to work in 2 minutes. I'm like, please do the Reiki. Like, I literally cannot get out of this car right now. So she drew a little symbol over the back of my right shoulder, tapped it 3 times, put her hand down. And as an aside, she's smoking out the window, which I just love this, because it just goes to show, no matter what you're doing and how we judge ourselves for it, source energy works no matter what. So she put her hand down on my shoulder, and the next thing I knew, this feeling that I was calling panic, fear, I felt it in my throat and in my chest. And as she put her hand on me, that energy, that ball of energy that was so uncomfortable, it started to move down my body. And the next thing I knew, it moved right out the soles of my feet. This was like a miracle for me.
Wow.
I mean, it was like a miracle. And I walked into class that night, and for the first time, I shared my experiences. It was like I came out of the closet. And I was a believer of this Reiki thing. I'm like, I need to take these classes. And I did. That's what started my journey. I took Reiki 1, 2, and 3, became a Reiki master, I think within 6 months. And I used it for self-healing and for self-love and for meditating and for getting myself in a better feeling place. And as an aside, I had been prescribed all kinds of anti-anxiety medicines and all that kind of stuff. And within 6 months, I was able to come off all my medicine with no withdrawal, with no side effects, with nothing. It was like my vibration was elevated to a whole new place. And in that place, for the first time, I was feeling safe and secure. And I was like, I have found it. I mean, this is what I'd been looking for. And I had been raised Catholic. I went to church on Sunday and did all that. And to be honest, I don't know that I felt God in church. But when I was attuned to Reiki and that energy that was circulating within my body and coming out my hands, I identified as the divine, as God. I'm like, this is it. I can feel it. I'm having an experience. And I can have a relationship with this. And so that's what got me started. And
so
then
that's when you decided to start doing this as a business?
Yes, absolutely. Because I was like, if this so radically transformed my life, and I mean, I know so many people with anxiety that are empaths, that are sensitives. I'm like, if this can help me, this can help others. So I began teaching Reiki, and I started Reiki programs in just about every community within 30 miles of where I live in Dover, New Hampshire, and started programs through the adult education programs, which was a really big step for me because I had public speaking fear. It wasn't even public speaking fear. It was public speaking terror. So it was really calling me to grow out of my comfort zone. But my desire to want to help and serve was stronger than the fear. You know what I mean? So for those of you that are listening, just do it
anyway.
Do it anyway, you know, because what was in my heart was stronger than that fear. And so
that's not bad for somebody who started with agoraphobia.
Right? I mean, come on. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Really amazing. So Reiki was kind of like the doorway that started me on this healing journey. And then I got my doctorate in a metaphysical degree. I became a certified angel reader because I was so intuitive and pulling in all this information. And I have always loved the angels. You know, growing up Catholic, Archangel Michael and all these, I could really relate to that. And so, you know, it really got me started. And then my business has just grown and grown and grown since then. I think what really helped in 2010, I have always been such an open channel for divine source to just kind of come through and create through me. I'm good at getting out of the way. And in that time, I wrote 2 books and 3 online programs, and one of them is free. And I launched that into the world, and God, I think we have like 40,000 people now from all over the world enrolled in that. I don't even promote it. I mean, seriously, people just find out about it. And so whatever is wanting to be born in anyone's heart, despite your fears, challenges, struggles, we can all do it I think my big thing is, it was about getting out of the way and letting it just flow through me and be born through me. And it takes on a life of its own, and it just starts to grow when we're living our life with passion and purpose. It's it's automatically supported by the universe. You cannot fail. You cannot fail at what you authentically came here to do. How could you screw that up, right? You can't.
I love it. So what's interesting is that with the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, I always say, yeah, a lot of the women that I'm interviewing are talking about a business, but making things happen is not necessarily about setting up a business. In your case, obviously you went for your passion, but you turned your passion into a business. That's what happened ultimately. So what have you found most challenges? What are the challenges you faced in that process of setting up your business and then later running your business?
Sure. Well, I mean, I didn't know how to do marketing or branding. I mean, that's been huge, right? If you don't know how to create email campaigns, and at the time I didn't even know to collect email addresses. Like I had no idea of how to really do that. And so you learn as you go, you know. I do have a meditation practice that I do every morning and night, where I'll literally ask, my belief is that we all have spirit guides, angels. We are not doing this alone. And I literally, without sounding cheesy, I'm going to tell you right now what I do, because this is honest. I ask the universe to send me whatever teacher, whether it's physical or non-physical, to teach me about marketing, about branding, about PR, link me to who I need to be linked with to make this happen. And then when you know it, the right people, events, and circumstances just come along. Sometimes little ideas or insights, inspirations just plop into my consciousness, and I run with it. Or all of a sudden I'll just get an email about how to do teleseminars, and it just all comes. You know, one thing I've had to learn is to be really relaxed about things. Because I know the more I relax, the more I'm not contracted. It's hard to receive when we're in a contracted state. So when I become aware that there's a need or a skill or something I need, I simply ask the universe for it, relax, and it just shows up when you know it.
So basically, I think it was 2 weeks ago that I interviewed Michelle Spalding, who was talking about how she had introduced delegation in her life. So you are delegating to your virtual team, in fact, but the one up there.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, you save a lot of money doing it that way too.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I love it.
Well, you know, I have not had a lot of spiritual teachers, and I have not read a lot of spiritual books, even though this is what I do for a living, quote unquote. I've always just gone direct, because that just seems to make the most sense to me. Not that physical people don't show up, because they absolutely do, and there's nothing special about me. This is available to everybody. I just think that most people think that's too easy, or maybe they don't trust that connection or something. So that needs to be created.
Well, the average person has definitely not been brought up that way.
Yeah.
So they probably don't even know about it.
Right. Right.
So other than not knowing how to do social media marketing, etc., any other challenge that you have been facing?
Well, love, I mean, to be honest, I literally came from a family that started with absolutely nothing. I mean, I was the first person in my entire family, my whole lineage, to even go to college. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we really can make of it what we want. I mean, there has been there have been so many challenges. I mean, it's just like, I absolutely came from nothing. No one in my family had ever had an education. So typically we buy into that. I mean, if no one else goes to college, you typically, and I just listened within my heart to what felt right for me. And I think I've always just been very determined and clear. about like, I so clear, I came here to do something and just, I'm going to make my way. I started with no money, little to no money, and you just kind of make a little bit and reinvest. And the thing was, I didn't even know how to do that at first. And you just kind of you learn as you learn from your mistakes, and you learn from the contrast that you experience in your life. Life has been, I study life, and I study the cause and effect of things and what I'm doing. And life has been the most amazing teacher. So I pay attention to what works and what doesn't, listen to my heart a lot. But if someone like me with my kind of background can get here, I mean, I make over 6 figures now. That's kind of amazing even to me. I think anyone can. I know anyone can.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny because even if you are in this sphere of going with the flow and listening to your intuition and to your guides, etc. However, you are talking about determination, you are talking about resilience, you are talking about analyzing what works, what doesn't, etc. So even if you approach it from maybe a less conventional, not a business type of approach, you are not just letting it go. I mean, you have really something in mind that you're wanting to achieve, and you will make it work.
Absolutely. And it's taken me a number of years to build my foundation. And how did I know to even do that? Like I said earlier, I think it was in 2010, all these things were just born kind of through me and got all this stuff in place. I attracted web people. I attracted SEO people that I didn't even know I need. I didn't know what search engine optimization was. I had no idea. Started attracting it through, I transmit an energy that I call grace. And I swear, through grace, it was like everything that I needed to show up to teach me how to make this work, it came. If you, and because I just pay attention. How I found you was a gift of grace. I don't even check the Project Positive Change, that Facebook page often. I was guided to go there, went through, I'm like, well, someone wants me to see something on here, and boom, found you. It was like, it was in neon lights, and that's the way life can work for everybody.
Yeah, it's having the capacity to see the signs, in fact, is what you're describing.
Yes. Have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and a heart that's open enough to know what feels right for you.
Interesting. So what are you most proud of?
Oh, I am absolutely thrilled with my second book. It's called The True You. That is my baby. Birthing that it felt like giving birth. It felt absolutely incredible. It has changed the lives of so many people. That's what comes to mind. I'm proud of quite a few things, but that one definitely has a few gold stars next to it. Yeah, that I had been told by friend psychics for so long that, why aren't you writing? You're going to write a book. And for so long, I loved to write, but there was nothing concrete there. And then boom, this book just flew through me like at God's speed. And I'm like, well, I guess they were right all along, and that was the time to do it. It wasn't time before. Those seeds were planted. So I'm, because writing your own book, and I decided to self-publish it, that is a huge endeavor. And it's done really, really, really well. So I'm very proud of that. And I'm
good for you.
Yeah.
I have a long way to go before I publish a book, I think, because I for many years already, people keep saying to me, you have a book in you, have a book in you. But I think that I could use something like that going through me. because I'm not there yet.
It will happen when it's the right time. It will happen, and it will be effortless. Seriously. And then, of course, the challenge is, well, how do I get it out there, and what do I do next? And it's all such a fun learning journey. Oh my gosh, you become a master at so many things that you never thought that that you would know how to do.
You point at something that I really agree with, is that if we approach whatever it is that we want to create, that journey, if we approach it not from the angle of the struggle, but from the angle of, hey, this is a new challenge. Hey, what can I learn from it? Hey, great, that's a new thing that I can do, etc. So having that joy, the fun to go with it makes such a difference.
Think of it as an adventure, because it literally is an adventure.
Yeah.
You're embarking on brand new territory. It's kind of scary, but so exciting at the same time. Yeah. And if, like you said, whatever it is that wants to be born through you, definitely think of it as a journey. Take any of that burden stuff, get that off your shoulders. Like
there will be problems to face anyway. So let's approach them.
You learn from that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just blow those little doubt clouds, blow them away.
Erica, I am becoming conscious of time, so I would like you to tell us, to start with, where people can find you.
Sure. What I would invite everyone to do, that free online course that I was telling you about that has about 40,000, definitely sign up for that. And it can be found right on the homepage of my website, www.ericarock.com. And when you go on there, you'll see a little pop-up about the free online course. And I would definitely say start with that. It's free, it's 9 weeks, and it will transform your life for the better. It's a wonderful start. It lifts your vibration up and gets your relationship to source, whatever source is for you, because this is not a religious thing. It really gets that relationship connected, gets your intuition more clear. And then from there, it's so much easier to make our dreams come true when we have that in place. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely invite you to sign up for that.
And so we didn't specifically touch that, but for listeners who might be interested in finding out more about your work, what are the people you're working with? Who are your ideal clients?
I love working with people that are empaths, that are sensitives, women. I love working with women.
So do I.
Yeah, I do. I that's something I just became really clear about in the last 6 months, actually. I'm like, I really love working with women. I prefer that. And people that are emotionally suffering in any way, I've been in the darkness and I've brought myself into the light, and I delight in helping others do the same. So that is my ideal client.
Okay, good. Any last tip that you want to give to anyone who would be wanting to live their dream, make things happen in their life and or business?
Listen to your heart, for sure. Number one, top priority, listen to your heart and trust your intuition. Fastest way to grow your intuition is to trust what you're receiving and act on it. Mm-hmm. Fastest way to grow your intuition. So simple. And I know I said this earlier, we all came here with a purpose, and what our purpose is, the heart is trying to convey that. And you cannot fail if you follow that. You absolutely can't. It's supported by the universe. That's what I would say.
Thank you. So before we say goodbye, just a reminder for the listeners. So you will find Erica's interview on the WWMTH Women Who Make Things Happen show page of my website, and that is www.anyesvanrhijn. Her interview will be up for 1 week. Afterwards, it will be moved to the archives, and but you can opt in and access all the archives. And it will be available both in podcast and video format, so whatever you prefer and is more convenient to you. Our next guest will be on August 10th, and that is Isabel Rizzo from Bella V Productions. And Erica's interview will be released next Monday, so that is on the 3rd of August. Erica, thank you so much. It was really fun to talk to you. I've loved that conversation. Thank you so much. And well, thank you and welcome. Goodbye to all of you. Thanks. Bye.